welcome to Tandem Fandom. I'm Mick.
I'm Courtney.
And today we've got to talk about quite the eventful Monday Night Raw.
Yes, as we all know, it was John Cena's triumphant return.
After 5 months of a shoulder injury, which was...
should have been...
9. They said 9 months, which is pretty incredible. Clearly, the guy is a mutant, and his mutant healing factor is... working like crazy. It's over 9,000.
Over 9,000.
But that's not what we want to talk about. We're going to talk about something much, much bigger. For the first time in WWE television, we got to see AJ Styles and John Cena share the same ring together. And it was, pun intended, phenomenal! It was so fantastic.
It's just one of those things that you always think about it, and how cool would it be if this guy got to wrestle this guy, but that'll never happen because he's in TNA and he's in WWE, he's in Japan and he's in WWE. Hey everybody, it's happening.
It happened. And you know, John Cena has a lot of strong feelings about him on both sides of the coin. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. But it's very hard to argue the fact that John is the face of the company. He has been consistently for about 10 years. AJ is, without a doubt, the biggest international superstar, at least in my opinion he is. I mean, the man was on top in TNA forever, was on top in Ring of Honor, was the man in New Japan, and really that's why he got there, because he was the biggest star in the world that was not working for WWE. So to see the moment where he stands there in the ring opposite John Cena, and they're both just taking in the crowd, you know.
Yeah, because the crowd is losing it.
Yeah, half are for AJ, half are for Cena, and it was such a cool moment to see.
I love those powerful moments where they both just drop the mic and the crowd is just making noise.
It was...
AJ Styles, let's go Cena.
It was fantastic. And then it got better. As if, you know...
As if this rocket to the stars could go any faster.
Because, you know, John hits the ring, he's cutting this passionate, you know, promo.
It's Memorial Day.
And it was a fantastic promo, which John does so well. You can send that guy to the ring, John talk for 5 minutes, and he's going to knock it out of the park with whatever he's going to do.
Every time.
And he puts the challenge. If this new era is here, it's coming through me. AJ's music hits, he hits the ring, the crowd's going crazy, and then it gets better. Earlier in the evening, we saw the club, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, assault the New Day, just beat them down, vicious beatdown, you know.
This is what they do.
It's very reminiscent of that old school NWO style beatdown. They hit the ring, they tear it up, and they leave. They had an interview after where they say, "We're here to make a statement, and we're not done yet." So as these guys are hitting the ring, it's clear. They're coming for Cena. John Cena, we're coming for you!
They're coming for somebody, because they had already betrayed AJ, so...
Well,
were they attacking both of them? Were they attacking just John because, you know, he's the ultimate babyface?
Yeah.
Or were they just going to come kick AJ's ass and John was going to see him? We didn't save him. We didn't know.
And they hit the ring, and then, again, if you had a scale, it was just going up every single time.
Because what happens as Gallows and Anderson are approaching the ring? You get AJ and John Cena bolstering shoulder to shoulder, ready to fight. And everybody's like, holy shit, tag team of the year.
And then the moment went straight into orbit as AJ Styles jumps John Cena from behind, the club jumps in, they're beating John down, they stand over a broken and battered John Cena, and it was incredible to see it.
Incredible.
It just gets me so hyped up, it just makes me want to... Somebody to sweep me!
Bullet Club.
Well, that's more. That's right, the Bullet Club has officially taken hold in WWE, brother, and it's just too sweet! Do you realize right now in the world of professional wrestling there are 3 iterations of the Bullet Club? Number 1, we have the Club in WWE. Number 2, the original, the Bullet Club in New Japan. And now Ring of Honors. It's amazing.
Amazing. Hashtag BizQuiz for life.
Because AJ Styles showed us Monday night. Anderson said it. Gallows said it. The real AJ Styles.
That's the AJ Styles we love.
That's the real AJ Styles. It was fantastic. That moment to me is something that you know we're going to see over and over again through video packages.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those moments that really defines an era. They're talking about the new era of WWE. Yeah. This is going to be one of those things that we're going to see over and over again.
Which it's kind of great because at first you think with New Era it's just the young guys, the NXT guys, but it's really becoming outsiders.
Definitely.
Pun intended.
Hey. Too sweet. So the real question out of this is, where are they going with all of this? I mean, you have set the stage with the tag belts and the face of the company involved in this. So where are they going to go with all this craziness?
There's just a million possibilities.
Definitely.
Like, are there going to be more members of the club? Are there is it just going to be they beat the crap out of John Cena every week? Is it going to split? Are there going to be different factions with the different brands? Is the club going to transcend brands?
This is what I see coming out of this. Number 1, I think this is a storyline that you give to this new brand of SmackDown. I mean, think about it. If the World Champion's working both brands, and admittedly we don't have all the details, as Shane and Stephanie said on Monday.
We don't know.
Yeah, which is kind of like, really
cheap.
But from all the reports online through the dirt sheets, it has been said that the World Champion will work both shows. So we'll work under that assumption. Roman's on Raw. You have got to have a big storyline to really get this live SmackDown going. And I think you need something more than just...
This is who we have.
Yeah, Wrestler A wrestles Wrestler B. Like, there's no title involved. Or there's no world title involved. Yeah. So, that being said, you take John Cena, put him on SmackDown. You take AJ Styles, SmackDown. The Club, SmackDown. Put the New Day on SmackDown. And then... building towards SummerSlam, the biggest event of the summer, which...
SummerMania.
WWE has said the goal is to get SummerSlam closer to the level of WrestleMania.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think pretty much every wrestling fan on the planet is fine with that. But, let's be honest. Having a big story is going to help you get there, because that's what WrestleMania really consists of.
And especially with the brand split, you need a big story to pull you into the new SmackDown.
Yeah, you want that must-see TV.
And they want those live ratings.
Yeah, because SmackDown going live, it's a big deal. You're going to get people to tune in because you can pump it up, you can build it up. If you say, we have John Cena, we have AJ Styles, they are locked in this like blood feud, you are going to get eyeballs on the product based off of that.
Yeah.
That being said, I think this sets the stage for the road to SummerSlam, at least in terms of the SmackDown brand.
Yeah.
Over the next few weeks, I think we're going to see continued beatdowns. We're going to see John Cena just wrecked at every turn. I don't mean your traditional, he's in the ring, having a match, they hit the ring. No, I mean old school. They, like...
backstage.
Yeah, hit that WWE network. Check out the Nitros when the NWO really first started coming on. John Cena's pulling up to the arena. He gets jumped. John Cena's talking to Renee Young. He gets jumped. Over and over.
They spray paint Club on his back.
I have a secret hope for this that I will get to, speaking of that. But that's what I see. I see John Cena being terrorized in a way that we've never seen this happen to John Cena before.
Yeah.
I also see the same thing with the New Day. They're out there cutting a promo. The Club hits the ring. They're walking backstage talking to Renee Young or JoJo. The Club hits the ring. They come out doing their interview. Big E's cutting the, "Oh, don't you dare be sad." All of a sudden, his voice stops.
You hear the mic hit the floor.
And the club comes out.
And
That's
getting on the guys with the happy guy tights. Ooh.
So that's what I'm seeing is some beatdowns over the next few weeks. From that, we see an alliance. Strength in numbers. There's one John Cena, there's 3 members of the club. 3 members of the New Day, but at some point I could see somebody getting taken out via an injury or what have you to take their numbers advantage.
Because of all the beatdowns.
Exactly. You know, be it Xavier, be it Big E, be it Kofi, one of them. It doesn't really matter who. Because they are so interchangeable in terms of how the fans view them, I don't think, well, of course Kofi would get hurt. I don't think they're viewed like that.
I don't know. I feel like Xavier would get hurt because he sells the best. And
Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
if he's out outside of the ring on crutches, I smell
Okay,
gold.
fair point. Okay, so, you know, we see these beatdowns, and one of the parties approaches the other. I'm betting New Day approaches John and says, "Look, there's strength in numbers. These guys are coming out of nowhere. We need to work together." This is kind of, I feel, like a short build for Money in the Bank, so I would think that we get kind of a multi-man, possibly just a 3-on-3, AJ Styles and the club against the New Day, especially with SmackDown having a match between AJ and Kofi. I could see them just leaving John off TV, the beatdowns, or, again, like we've said, the repeated beatdowns, this is what happens.
Well, and that adds a little heat, a little flavor. We see how they work together in the ring, the 3-on-3.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe the club wins by ill means, or they lose and beat the crap out of the New Day.
Exactly. So that would take us to Battleground, which takes place right after the brand split. So I don't think you're going to get anything too crazy in terms of a story of this magnitude immediately onto Battleground. Maybe, again, like a multi-man tag or some sort of handicap tag. The bottom line, we're keeping AJ Styles and John Cena away from each other. We don't want these guys having a one-on-one match.
Yet.
We're saving that. As we go to SummerSlam, this has been building and building. John Cena is looking for allies. He needs people to have his back. So maybe he turns to different guys in the locker room. This is where we start introducing new members to the club, although John doesn't realize. Who do you think fits the club? On the roster, everybody's fair game. We'll look at NXT too. Everybody's fair game. Who do you think fits? A few guys at least.
I feel like, just to bring in some freshness, maybe Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
because
I could see that.
He's not above beating the crap out of somebody backstage. He's not above getting his hands dirty. It's almost like he's the opposite of Kevin Owens. He's just there to kick ass.
Yeah, he's there to kick ass and collect money, which again, the Bullet Club seems to be that the club is more of that, NWO style of AJ understands his ability. He's there to win. He's there to be a champion. He's there to make the big money. Gallows and Anderson. I brought these guys here. Why would you bring them there? They want the big money. They want titles. So they're after something. They're hungry. Baron Corbin has said multiple times that he's not an indie superstar, which is ironic because, well, these guys are. But he's there to make money. You trained your whole life to get here. I got a phone call. I'm here to make money. I'm here to kick ass.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think he fits really well. Another guy that I think could work really well would be Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
This is a guy, especially if you go back to, like Survivor Series in the past where he's on Team Cena. He's stealing the show every night and he's getting passed over left and right. They want to talk about this new era. What about Dolph Ziggler? I was the hot guy. I was the guy that could go out and steal the show every night, and I do it and I get nothing. So that's another guy that I think you could easily insert into that dynamic of this. I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over.
Definitely, especially with his energy and just his ability to fit into characters, and he would just he'd like run out before everybody else and be like, yeah.
Yeah, and again, with like the cocky attitude and the way he's carried himself in the past, especially when he's a heel, I feel like he brings that kind of different dynamic to the group.
Right,
you know?
Because with AJ, Carl, and Luke, they're all strong, silent types.
Yeah, they're more of the
explosive,
the badass.
monster, yeah.
Dolph, I think, gives a little bit more of like that injection of like the cool, cocky heel, the very very Rick Rude style.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like Hogan.
I could say that. Well, from a selling perspective, definitely he could definitely be Hogan. Who else do we think?
Well, I think the most obvious choice is Finn.
Finn Balor, definitely.
Especially if he doesn't win the belt back.
Yeah, and I think with that, and this will get to our build, because ultimately I see this culminating in several big matches, one of which at SummerSlam, which is John Cena versus AJ, and the tag titles, I'd put them on the line to New Day and the Club. I have whatever member we want to add. If we add a Dolph Ziggler, I see him in an IC or US title type feud, because that's the ultimate goal, is get these guys some belts, get these guys some power.
Retain all the belts.
Exactly.
Have the club, have all the pieces on the board.
Exactly. But what I see after this is build towards Survivor Series. You get that Team Cena versus the Club. It's tired, but it's also true. It's something that you can constantly do. That's where I see the ultimate blow-off for this giant story is ending in Survivor Series. If Cena's team reigns victorious, because let's say AJ beats Cena at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Cena pins AJ, or maybe makes AJ tap at Survivor Series. At that point, if you've inserted a Finn Balor, well, AJ's not fit to be the leader. So Finn and the Club beat him out. Finn takes his rightful place as leader.
With Becky Lynch as his queen.
Another guy that I possibly would like to see, or I think would work very much in the vein of a Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro.
Oh yeah.
You've got that. The whole brass ring thing has been there. John Cena has put him over pretty strong, saying he should be in the main event every night. He got injured. This is a way that you could kind of freshen him up and take him in a different direction. I mean, he's really hot right now, but again, I think putting him in this group, letting him be kind of this badass heel, I can do what you can't do, I am one of the best in the world, that sort of thing.
Being the nice guy, but still playing to the Cesaro section.
I didn't just want to grab the brass ring, I ripped it down. Basically, what I see from this is inserting a guy to be involved in the club, a new member, is a great way to refresh a character like a Dolph Ziggler. Let's kind of not change him, but let's take him back to a period that he was very successful, which was being a heel. He was very, very good at it.
Except without Vicky.
Well, yeah, that definitely. And
it is a good thing.
Well, he did work really well in tandem with like AJ and Big E when he got to work in that group dynamic. That was a really good thing, and I think him especially, he could play off very well like on Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
the dynamic and the way they could interact.
And it's just his energy. He brings a different visual because he's got the colors, he's got the hair.
Yeah.
And just brings that different kind of energy, that different kind of hype.
Definitely. If you look at a guy like Baron Corbin, this is a way you can help push him up to that next level, because I think he's doing really great things with Dolph right now. His promo skills, he's hit and miss. Sometimes he's great. Sometimes he's a little like...
I think it really depends on what he's saying.
Yeah.
And how much he actually feels it. Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
How great was that match between him and
Oh, that was fantastic.
Dolph on Raw? Very technical wrestling match.
And he kicks him right in the pills.
That
was so great. That was another fantastic moment for Monday Night Raw. But, like I was saying, I think if you take Corbin and insert him, it just boosts his profile. At that point, you can have him chase a U.S. title. You can have him chase an Intercontinental title. And you don't feel like it's too above him, because you're like, yeah, okay, because he could win it dirty. He can be
Right.
the heel.
And even if the club isn't there with him, you know, he has that momentum behind him.
Definitely. Well, and another thing too, if you really want to establish him as being like this strong, yeah, like they did in NXT, where he's very strong. I think he maybe lost clean a handful of times. It's a way that if he was gonna lose clean, boom, Gallows and Anderson hit the ring. They prevent that from happening. So it's a way that you could really build him up. Finn, I think if you put him in that situation, it's an excellent way to introduce him to the broader WWE audience, because not everybody, unfortunately, watches NXT or is familiar with his, you know, international reputation and his abilities. Granted, he could probably be fine on his own, because you let him do that demon entrance, you're going to capture some people. But again, it's a way that you can work him in.
Right, it's an open door.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel weird, it doesn't feel awkward. Going back to Survivor Series, I think if you add Finn, you could get John Cena to get one of his old friends, Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
The rivalry exists between Joe and Finn now. Joe and John have a history together, having trained together in California when they started their careers together. Both took very different career paths. Joe and AJ have a history together when you look at ROH, when you look at TNA. I don't believe they ever worked together in Japan, but in any case, that's another guy that you can insert into this feud, not from a club perspective, but just working with John Cena, man. It's going to get eyeballs on you, you know, and that's really the goal here. What do you think the ultimate outcome of this is? Like, where do you what benefits do we get out of this big feud?
I don't really have anything that I'm like, this is exactly what's going to happen, because, not to be rude to the WWE, but their writing has been lacking.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of Roman storylines, or like a lot of, oh, we're setting up this match at a pay-per-view, but let's watch the exact same match every week for 3 weeks before the pay-per-view.
I will say this. I feel like because Cena is involved, there's a little more wiggle room. Cena has a little bit more input than, say, Roman does.
Well,
so I do want to put that out there. I think in terms of that, there's a little bit more flexibility, but I get exactly what you're saying.
But still, you know, there's still the possibility that they may kind of flub it or overwork certain aspects of it, and then nothing comes of it, and they just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully they take this opportunity to not necessarily make a faction, but just get a good, solid storyline that's going to last until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a million things with this setup.
That's how I look at it. I look at this as an opportunity to just really get SmackDown a good, strong storyline to get it kicked off. Give a lot of guys, you know, put them in a position to where they're able to do what they do best. Put AJ Styles against the face of the company. Let him go out there and have the absolute best match on the card. Put Gallows and Anderson, who I said it in the draft, I believe they are the best tag team in the world today. Let them go out there and be these awesome heels, and let them just beat down the New Day, which in turn lets the New Day come back and build them stronger as baby faces for the company. The guys that we're talking about, you know, you could add this guy. That helps them. It puts eyes on them. It puts them in an important position from a story perspective, gives them possibly title opportunities. And that's the other thing, too. If we put titles into this contention, it makes them mean more. I mean, ultimately, this is the perfect world scenario where, like, the writing's on point, and the matches are great, and the this and that.
And nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, nobody gets injured. But I'm with you. I think this is something that fans, both diehard and casual, could really sink their teeth into, because that's what made WCW really kick the door down with the NWO storyline. They were able to look how cool and different this is. This isn't just your traditional thing that you've seen over and over again. This is
new
cool.
hotness.
Yeah, the NWO, they weren't just bad guys, they were cool bad guys.
They were taking over the announce table. They were
Yeah.
spray painting everything. They were taking over the like ad space.
It was awesome, and that is my hope. That is my secret hope as a WCW fanboy. I hope the club. It's great, great name, but WWE owns the rights to the NWO. Why not? Why not christen these guys as the new NWO? Not to mention, you've got Scott Hall, you've got Kevin Nash, you've got X-Pac, all under Legends contract.
That's true.
Have
they
one
showed
of
up
those.
at Mania. Why not?
Have one of those guys be a manager. Have a Kevin Nash or a Scott Hall come out and cut promos. Hey yo, you know, or we're taking over. Well, that's BWO. Excuse me. You know, have them say that they're changing things. The club is old news. We are a new world order. Have them spray paint. Just bring it back, because again, that's the ultimate goal: is build business stronger. That is going to get people going to the network and looking at NWO stuff.
Yeah, people who don't know will be like, oh, well, let's check the back library.
Yeah,
but people who do know are just, their heads are going to explode.
Exactly. You've got a Scott Hall special that's coming soon. He's very prominent with NWO, and I get with like Hogan's situation, I could see where that would go, but I feel like after a few months that's died down enough where you can just talk about the wrestling aspect of what the NWO did, and again, those t-shirts are gonna sell. Oh, and not to mention, give AJ Styles NWO gloves. Could you imagine? I would buy 5 pairs. One for every time I go to work. 5 days a week. I'm wearing these gloves. So that's where I'd love to see it go.
Yeah.
I
That
don't know
might be
that it'll
a
happen.
beautiful, beautiful pipe dream, but
In a perfect world. Well,
a new world.
in a new world of professional wrestling, brother. Well, I think it's time to go home. I think our shoulders have hit the mat for the 3 count.
I hear that bell ringing.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, check us out on social media. Let us know what you think. Where would you like to see this go?
Yeah.
Who would you like to see inserted into it? Be it on the club side or maybe in support of John Cena.
Do you hate it from the get-go?
Yeah, do you not want to see it? Yeah, let us know what you think, because we're definitely interested. Well, I'm Mick.
I'm Courtney.
If you're going to be a fan,
Bring a friend.
Bullet Club for life.